Hey everyone, it's George from blockchain DXB and today is the 3rd of March 2025 and in the geopolitical world guys, there's a lot of drama going on isn't it? But in the blockchain DXB podcast guys, we'll try to go ahead and avoid as many geopolitical chaos that is going on cause look, President Donald Trump he definitely wants world peace but looks like other politicians, they definitely want to go ahead and continue the war and in doing that guys, they are the ones who are going to be benefited by it isn't it? Now, on a side note, what I'd really recommend you to do is look at the share prices of Lockheed Martin and other companies that are producing arms and ammunitions, and then, guys, you individually go ahead and check the politicians' shareholding regarding these companies, and you'll be completely baffled why politicians on one side of the ally they want to go ahead and continue the war. But look, as President Donald Trump definitely wants world peace, and it's going to be really interesting to see what happens in the next coming months. Now, President Donald Trump, guys, not only does he want world peace, he also wants to go ahead and make Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies great again. And what happened over the weekend, guys? He did make two specific announcements in the world of cryptocurrencies. The first one is regarding crypto reserve. And President Donald Trump, guys, he did sign executive orders on digital asset directs, which is leading to the creation of crypto strategic reserve. And here's the interesting thing, guys. It will be including Ripple or XRP, Solana or Sol, Cardano, Zeta, Bitcoin as well as Ethereum. Now, President Donald Trump, guys, he did actually make this announcement via Truth Social, and when he initially made the announcement, he did not mention Bitcoin as such, and because of that, a lot of Bitcoin OGs and maximalists, as well as publications that are connected only to Bitcoin, that is Bitcoin Magazine, as well as Swan Bitcoin, they were really upset. But in just a matter of 50 minutes or so, guys, he did actually clearly state that Bitcoin as well as Ethereum will be added into this. And President Donald Trump, guys, did actually state that he does have very strong support for Bitcoin as well as Ethereum. So in today's episode, we'll definitely go ahead and look at that. Now, along with the promise of crypto strategic reserve, guys, the White House AI and crypto CISA, that is David Sachs, he did actually announce a crypto summit that is going to take place on the 7th of March. And look, guys, because of this news, the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies have pumped up. So we'll definitely go ahead and take a deep dive into this. Now, in the world of privacy and digital ID, guys, we do have some interesting development, and this is with a project called as Billions.Network, and looks like they want to rival WorldCoin. So what I'll do, guys, in today's episode, I'll go ahead and explain what Billion.Network is, and then what I want to do is, guys, I want to go ahead and share my thoughts and opinion, and I'll give you an honest opinion, guys. I'll make an argument in favor of Billions.Network, and at the same time, guys, I'll go ahead and try to highlight some of the faults in this project as well. Now, if you're someone who's in the digital ID space, guys, you definitely need to check on this because they're claiming they're using zero knowledge proof as well. And more importantly, they're also offering a non-biometric alternative to WorldCoin. So let's see, guys, if this is only empty promise or there is some legitimacy to it. But in today's episode, we'll definitely take a deep dive into this. Now, the final two news I'm going to be talking about is kind of like a positive news, particularly in the US, as well as other parts of the world. And the first news is connected to US Security and Exchange Commission, and looks like this week also they are closing investigation, and this time, guys, they are closing the investigation against Gemini, so we'll definitely go ahead and touch base on this news. Now, with the Trump administration, guys, the Security and Exchange Commission is closing a lot of cases, which to be honest is great for the world of cryptocurrencies, not just in the United States of America, but in other parts of the world as well. And look, guys, one of the promises of President Donald Trump at his rally was deregulation, and looks like all promises are being kept. So we'll definitely go ahead and touch base on this news. As a matter of fact, guys, the last news I'm going to be talking about is also positive news in the world of cryptocurrencies. But this, guys, is connected to Richard Hart. Now, if you're someone in the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency space for a long time, guys, you'd probably heard of Richard Hart, and not necessarily for the great reasons. But let's say if you're someone new in the space, guys, you definitely need to check out Richard Hart, and according to me, he might just be the #1 speaker in the cryptocurrency world, and I would personally put him at #1 so far as debates are concerned. But unfortunately, guys, he did actually go ahead and launch a shady project, and because of that, the United Security and Exchange Commission did actually file a case against him. But there's an interesting update, guys. They have dismissed SEC's case against Richard Hart, so really interesting development with the Trump administration. So quite a lot of cover, guys, in today's episode. And like we do in every Crypto and Coffee Date series, we will be looking at two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East, and both the news are absolutely massive one. And the first news, guys, is regarding a partnership between Happy and Equinow, and they are launching UAE's first regulated crypto payment gateway for businesses. So we'll definitely go ahead and explore what this news is all about. Now, the second news, guys, is connected to Bybit, and since last week, guys, there was so much of drama regarding Bybit hackers in it, but they have still managed to receive in-principle approval to establish virtual asset platform in the United Arab Emirates. So really interesting development. So quite a lot of cover, guys, in today's episode. Let's kickstart with it right away. Thank you to our sponsors for being part of the blockchain DXB journey. Firstly, Advanced Media. Advanced Media, guys, is the largest distributor of professional video, photo, broadcast and cinematic equipment and accessories in the Middle East and MENA region. With over 2 decades of experience, Advanced Media is now the largest distributor in the Middle East, representing more than 100 recognizable brands, including brands such as Zeiss, DJI, Hasselblad, Red and Rode. As a matter of fact, guys, the very mic that I'm recording is being sponsored by Advanced Media as well. And Advanced Media has showrooms in Saudi Arabia and services as well. Looks like they're definitely taking the Middle East by storm. And here's the beautiful thing, guys. They're taking corporate social responsibility very seriously. And they're focusing on 3 Ps. That is people, planet, and prosperity. Now listen, guys, if you do want to find out more information regarding the statement of corporate social responsibility, check out the website, that is www.amt.tv. And here's the beautiful thing, guys. They also want to be a leader and set an example and reputation as a pioneer and member of the community. And in doing so, guys, they also have an AMT scholarship with SAE Institute in Dubai, UAE. So definitely check it out. And also, guys, Advanced Media is committed to persistently developing, organizing, and hosting training workshops, seminars, and community events that educate, inform, and familiarize consumers with new equipment and the latest technological advances. So listen, guys, do one thing. If you do want to support this channel, go to the website, that is www.amt.tv, and follow the social media channels as well. All of the details are in the show notes below. Next, Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen, guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing. Go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform. Check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And finally, guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now, guys, since you're taking care of that, Let's kickstart by looking at the global cryptocurrency market. Now, in the episode that I released on last Thursday, guys, I did actually state that President Donald Trump is heading towards world peace. And what happened over the weekend, guys? He did actually invite Ukrainian President, that is Zelensky, and there were peace negotiations in place. But looks like Zelensky does not want world peace, and he wanted to completely go ahead and bash Putin. Now, according to him, he might be right, guys. But look, when you talk about a mediator, guys, it does become difficult for President Donald Trump if one side of the party is openly bashing the other side of the party. And because of that, the peace negotiations have been halted. But imagine, guys, if the peace negotiations were to actually go through, this would have directly impacted the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies would have pumped up even further. But look, President Donald Trump over the weekend, he did actually make two positive announcements, and because of that, guys, if you look at the market sentiment, today it is at neutral, and just on Thursday, guys, the market sentiment was at extreme fear. Now, there are two ways of looking at it, guys. President Donald Trump can definitely go ahead and change the market sentiment, and that, to be honest, is positive news. But, guys, over-reliance on one person is definitely not good, isn't it? And that is precisely the reason why Bitcoin was created as well. Now, thankfully, guys, President Donald Trump is an advocate of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and because of his two announcements, the prices of Bitcoin and the global cryptocurrency market is pumped up. And if you look at the global cryptocurrency market today, guys, it is at $3.07 trillion, and since the last 24 hours, it is actually up by 8.23%, and the numbers, guys, are definitely looking good, considering the fact that I'm looking at these numbers in the early hours of Dubai, and it is technically still Sunday in most of the Western countries. Now, I'm pretty much sure, guys, over the next coming days, because of the two announcements, the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are definitely going to be pumping up, and around the 7th, guys, when there's a crypto summit, the prices of Ripple, XRP, Solana, Cardano, Bitcoin and Ethereum will definitely be pumping up, because most likely they will be part of a crypto strategic reserve. So definitely keep an eye on the date for the 7th of this month. Now, so far as the global cryptocurrency market is concerned, guys, if you look at it in terms of dollar amount, today it is at $187.06 billion, and since the last 24 hours, guys, it is actually up by 144.36%. But unfortunately, guys, the volume on decentralized finance is definitely not looking good, and it is only at $11.93 billion. And DeFi, guys, as of today, is accounting for only 6.38% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. And if you look at the total value locked, guys, it is down to $104.74 billion. Now, so far as decentralized to centralized exchange dominance is concerned, it is showing as 40.12%. But ideally speaking, guys, this number should have been around the 60% mark. And I'm hoping, guys, in the next 3 to 5 years, this particular matrix is relatively consistent, because you always need to remember, guys, when we're looking at decentralized to centralized exchange dominance, a lot of centralized exchanges are also using decentralized exchange. And based on my understanding, guys, I wouldn't be surprised. Around, let's say, 60 to 80% of these transactions are actually done by centralized exchanges. Now, let's quickly run through the volume of decentralized exchanges. And Uniswap is back to number 1 since the last 2 weeks. And the 24-hour volume is $3.70 billion. Orca, guys, is at number 2nd, and its 24-hour volume is $1.20 billion. PancakeSwap is at number 3rd, and its 24-hour volume is $1.15 billion. ThorChain, guys, is at number 3rd, and its 24-hour volume is about the $1 billion mark. It is at $1.06 billion. Meteor, guys, is at number 5th, and its 24-hour volume is $1.03 billion. Now, if you look at the volume of stable coins, and because the prices are pumping up, I'm really content with this number, guys, because what we need to do is, we need to look at the volume of stable coins and then compare it with the 24-hour trading volume. And because the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are pumping up, this, to be honest, guys, is definitely positive news. And so far as the volume of stable coins is concerned, it is at $170.13 billion. And stable coins, guys, as of today, is accounting for 90.96% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. And out of this $170.13 billion, guys, Tether USDT is accounting for $142.37 billion, followed by Circle USDC at $15.10 billion, and FDUSD is at number 3rd, and its 24-hour volume is $10.24 billion. Now let me quickly run to the market cap, 24-hour trading volume and dominance between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, surprisingly, guys, Bitcoin's dominance has actually gone down, and it is at 59.78%. Now, based on the matrix, guys, looks like a lot of people are actually buying a lot of Ripple or XRP, and the reason is pretty simple. They will be part of crypto strategic reserve, and one of the reasons why people are buying Ripple or XRP, guys, because the prices are ridiculously low, isn't it? And apart from that, Ripple stablecoin, that is RLUSD, is working as well. And I wouldn't be surprised, guys, if there is a massive rally in the price of Ripple or XRP. But look, all price predictions are 100% right 50% of the time, and whatever I'm saying is definitely not financial advice. Now, surprisingly, guys, despite the price of Bitcoin and Ethereum pumping up, the dominance of Ethereum has gone down as well, and Ethereum's dominance is at 9.05%. Now, if you look at the 24-hour trading volume, as I mentioned earlier, guys, Bitcoin's 24-hour trading volume is $65.89 billion, whereas Ethereum's 24-hour trading volume is at $37.80 billion. Now, since the announcement of the Crypto Strategic Reserve, as well as the Crypto Summit news, the market cap of Bitcoin and Ethereum is pumped up, but Bitcoin's market cap is still below the $2 trillion mark. It is at $1.83 trillion, whereas Ethereum's market cap, guys, is very close to touching the $300 billion mark. Today it is at $294 billion. Now, every day in the Blockchain DXB podcast, guys, I tend to look at one new matrix, isn't it? Now, because a lot of news is connected to President Donald Trump, what I want to do is, I want to look at the top 5 tokens that is made in America, and we're going to be looking at this based on market capitalization, and Ripple XRP's market cap, guys, is at a staggering $162 billion. This is absolutely crazy and wild, considering the fact when you talk about Ripple or XRP, guys, technically speaking, you don't even need XRP token, and more importantly, guys, Ripple or XRP, they don't even use blockchain technology, but nonetheless, so far as market capitalization is concerned, that is tokens made in America, they're definitely leading the pack. And at number 2 is Solana, and its market cap is at $86.33 billion. Circular USDC is at number 3, and its market cap is $56.34 billion. Cardano, guys, is at number 4, its market cap is $37.69 billion. Dogecoin, guys, is at number 5, and its market cap is at $33.70 billion. Now look, guys, this particular matrix, that is American tokens by market capitalization, is definitely not a good matrix to look at, keeping in mind the open blockchain narrative, because when you talk about Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies and open blockchain, guys, it should not be restricted to any specific region, but look, the narrative right now is regarding President Donald Trump, and that is one of the reasons why I wanted to discuss this. Now, guys, let's go ahead and look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin, and the price of Bitcoin right now is at $92,707, and just last week, guys, the price of Bitcoin was hovering around the $80,000 mark, isn't it? But look, because President Donald Trump is a massive advocate of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, it is having a positive impact on the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and since the last 24 hours, guys, the price of Bitcoin is pumped up by 8.17%, but since the last 7 days, it was actually down by 2.90%. Now, so far as Ethereum is concerned, it is at $2,439, and since the last 24 hours, it is up by 9.75%, but since the last 7 days, it is actually down by 10.12%. But one of the biggest gainers since the last 72 hours is Ripple or XRP, and the price of XRP is at $2.79, and check this out, guys. Since the last 24 hours, it is up by 24.17%, and since the last 7 days, it is actually up by 12.63%. So things are definitely looking great for Ripple or XRP. Now, the only reason why the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are pumping up is because of President Donald Trump, isn't it? And President Donald Trump, guys, he did actually reveal plans for a US crypto reserve, and this is to strengthen the industry, and he did actually mention this via a social media platform called Truth Social. Now, I'm not sure if this particular post is updated on X yet, but look, as President Donald Trump via Truth Social did actually cite years of attacks by Biden administration, and rightly so as well, and he signed executive orders on digital assets, and he's directing the creation of Crypto Strategic Reserve, which includes XRP, Solana, Cardano, Zeta, Bitcoin as well as Ethereum. And President Donald Trump, guys, he does want to establish US as a global leader in cryptocurrencies. Now, what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, in the show notes below, there's a link to his Truth Social account, and make sure you go out and read it, because when he initially posted, guys, he did not mention Bitcoin as such, and a lot of Bitcoin maximalists were upset about it, but in just a matter of 50 minutes or so, he did actually put out another post where he reaffirmed his strong support for Bitcoin and Ethereum. And President Donald Trump, guys, wants United States of America to dominate the digital asset space. So what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, in the show notes below. Go ahead and read through a couple of his posts, and things are definitely looking good for the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies because of that. And not only crypto strategic reserve, guys, President Donald Trump on the 7th of this month is also arranging crypto summit, and this particular information was actually put out by White House and AI crypto CISA, that is David Sachs, and he did actually make this announcement on the 28th of March, and this was published on social media platform, that is X. And the news essentially, guys, is that the White House under President Donald Trump's leadership will host the first ever crypto summit on 7th of March, and they will be bringing together top industry leaders and officials, and this particular summit, guys, will be chaired by David Sachs. And this event will support Executive Order 14178, and it will emphasize clear regulations, innovation and economic freedom and digital assets. And the Trump administration, guys, aims to make US a global crypto leader after what Trump calls unfair treatment of the industry by the previous administration. And later on, guys, we'll go ahead and discuss two news that is kind of positive now, but under the Biden administration with Gary Gensler in charge, we're definitely attacking the cryptocurrency space. But look, guys, with President Donald Trump in charge, two news have come out positive since the last 72 hours, and only because of that, guys, the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are pumped up, isn't it? So you definitely need to give him credit where it is due. Now, guys, the next news I'm going to be talking about is connected to privacy-focused digital ID platform, and this platform is called as Billions.Network. And Billions.Network, guys, they've introduced a privacy-centric digital identity verification platform, and what they are claiming is that they leverage zero-knowledge proof, and they're doing that to provide a non-biometric alternative to WorldCoin. That is a project by Sam Altman, and a lot of them are massive detractors of WorldCoin, isn't it? Now, this particular project, that is Billion.Network, guys, they're claiming that it is designed to ensure more scalability and security, and according to the website, guys, the platform verifies both human and artificial intelligence identities, but more importantly without storing sensitive biometric data, as they want to address privacy concerns amid rising regulatory scrutiny and AI-driven fraudulent threats, such as, let's say, deepfakes and cyber attacks. Now, what they are claiming that is that over 9,000 projects, including TikTok, Dog Doctors and World, which is formerly known as WorldCoin, have adopted the underlying SOCOM framework, while financial giants like Deutsche Bank and HSBC have also exploded in the trial program. But here's the interesting thing, guys. What they are claiming is that unlike biometric model, Billions.Network requires no specialized hardware and offers token incentivization, something similar what WorldCoin was doing, isn't it? And if you're someone who's in Dubai, guys, I believe in DMCC's crypto center, they do actually have a physical device called a Zorb. And what WorldCoin wants to do is, they want to go ahead and capture your biometric ID using that orb, which is a physical device. Quite spooky and futuristic, isn't it? Now, regarding Billions.Network, guys, the CEO, that is Evan McClellan, has personalized his goal of uniquely identifying individuals for personalized benefits in an AI-driven era, and evolving from Polygon ID and Polygon blockchain, guys. The platform is developed by Provodo ID team, and they're also collaborating with Indian government to integrate the Aadhaar system. Now look, guys, based on my honest opinion, there have been numerous such projects, and I've yet to see a lot of them getting mainstream adoption. But the moment you're associated with a government organization, guys, you do get a lot of users on board, isn't it? So what I want to do is, guys, regarding this particular project, I want to give some arguments in favor of it and some against it. Because look, guys, in order to identify this particular project, we do need to identify its feasibility, effectiveness, and potential challenges as well. Now, in order to talk about some of the benefits of this, guys, I want to go ahead and touch base on enhanced privacy and security, scalability and adoption potential aspects that they're claiming about, and more importantly, guys, they are talking about no proprietary hardware required, which is kind of interesting in my honest opinion. So the only reason why you want to go ahead and use it is only because of your privacy. And then, guys, I want to go ahead and touch base on some points regarding response to AI-driven fraud. Now, let's talk about enhanced privacy and security, guys. Now, what Billions.Network is claiming that they are using zero-knowledge proof, and this, guys, allows identity verification without revealing sensitive biometric or personal data. And this, to be honest, guys, addresses privacy concerns associated with systems like WorldCoin, which does rely heavily on biometric scans. And one of the reasons why I think this is great is because the non-biometric approach reduces the risk of data breaches and misuse, and this appears to users wary of sharing personalized information. And according to me, guys, its ability to verify identities while keeping data hidden aligns with growing demand for data minimization and privacy-first solutions, isn't it? Now, regarding scalability and adoption potential, guys, they are claiming that there are 9,000 projects, and it includes major players like TikTok and financial giants like Deutsche Bank. And what they are claiming is that they are already using the SIRCOM framework, and Billions.network has a strong foundation for widespread adoption. Now, it's going to be really interesting to see with the integration with the India's Aadhaar system and trials by reputable entities. What is the outcome to this? But look, so far the information on the website, guys, it does actually suggest that it can scale to large population and diverse use cases. But it's important to note, guys, these are just trial phases, isn't it? And based on my experience, guys, in trial or beta phases, these numbers can be easily achieved. Now, one of the things which is really unique about this, guys, is that there is no proprietary hardware required. And unlike some biometric systems that require specific devices, like the one I talked about, WorldCoin, Billions.network's platforms operates without specialized hardware, making it more accessible. Now, really, I'm not sure if they're using mobile devices for this, so it's going to be really interesting to see where they're getting the information from. But look, guys, if you look at it in a positive way, this lack of proprietary hardware does actually reduce the barrier to entry for users and organizations, isn't it? Especially in regions with limited tech infrastructure. And it does suppose its goal of universally being accessible as well. Now, the next thing is regarding incentive model. And Billions.network is offering token-based rewards, and this encourages user participation, which is a proven strategy in the Web3 ecosystem, isn't it? And early adopters definitely benefit from them, and it does foster a network effect that could drive growth and engagement. Now, the final thing in favor of this particular project, guys, is the response to AI-driven fraud. And what Billions.network's platform is claiming is that the focus on verifying human and AI identities is tackling rising issues like deepfake and bot activities. And as AI-generated fraud becomes more prevalent, guys, a scalable and secure verification system could meet an urgent market demand, and this could position Billions.network as a leader in combating digital impersonation. And look, guys, these are some of the points in favor of it. But look, as I mentioned earlier, guys, there have been numerous such projects, and most of them do not deliver what they are promised. So what I want to do is, guys, I want to go ahead and highlight some of the negatives, and I want to go ahead and make some arguments against this. Now, they're talking about zero-knowledge proof, which is a really cool concept, isn't it? But listen, guys, implementing zero-knowledge proof is extremely complex, and zero-knowledge proofs are computationally intensive and extremely complex to implement, potentially leading performance and user experience. And here's the thing, guys, generating and verifying proofs require significant processing power, which could actually slow down transactions or deter less tech-savvy users, especially on mobile devices with limited resources. Now look, guys, this particular project on paper does actually sound cool, and it's really interesting that they're integrating with other systems in India. But look, when you talk about regulatory aspects, guys, at this point of time, there is no clear regulatory aspect to it, and there is still regulatory uncertainty in this area, and strong privacy guarantees, guys, may actually conflict with regulations requiring transparency, such as, let's say, anti-money laundering or KYC rules, and governments and financial institutions might hesitate to fully adopt a system that obscures identity details, fearing it could enable illicit activities as seen with privacy cons like Zcash. And in Dubai, guys, you cannot go and talk about Monero as well, and none of the cryptocurrency exchanges offer any privacy cons as such. Now, apart from that, guys, I do think there will be additional barriers. Now, what they are claiming is that they do have some partnership with a lot of organizations. But look, guys, despite existing use case of SIRCOM, I very strongly feel that convincing mainstream users and organizations to switch from established identity systems could be an extremely challenging task, because people still rely on legacy systems, isn't it? For example, guys, if you look at Aadhaar's biometric framework, they are deeply entrenched, and transitioning to a new system such as zero-knowledge proof may face resistance due to cross-retraining or even skepticism about its reliability. Now look, guys, I've seen numerous projects regarding this, and there is active competition in the field as well. And Billions.network is competing with well-funded rivals like WorldCoin, with whether you like it or not, does have a significant backing and a completely different approach to digital identity. And WorldCoin's biometric model, guys, despite privacy critics, have gained traction with proprietary hardware and a clear use space, potentially overshadowing Billions.network's less tangible privacy-first offering. That is my honest opinion. Now, the final argument I want to make against is that they are depending on blockchain infrastructure, and I did actually go to the website, guys, and I'm definitely not liking things on the website. Now, they are built on Polygon and are expanding to a broader network, but its success hinges on blockchain reliability and public perception. And just last week, guys, we did have a massive hack on Bybit, isn't it? And when you talk about blockchain technology as such, guys, issues like network congestion, high fees, or even negative sentiment that we have experienced since the last week could actually undermine trust and functionality. And when you talk about digital identity, guys, if there is any issue regarding scalability, it would falter under real-world pressure, in my honest opinion. So these are my honest thoughts regarding Billions.network, guys. Let me know if you agree to it or disagree to any of these points. Now, guys, let's go and discuss some interesting news by the US Securities and Exchange Commission. And since the last week, guys, the US Securities and Exchange Commission, they've been closing all the cases left and right, isn't it? Last week, we talked about US Securities and Exchange Commission closing its case against OpenSea, Uniswap, as well as Robinhood. And in today's episode, guys, the news is that the US Securities and Exchange Commission is closing its case against Gemini after a probe which went on for almost 699 days. And the US Securities and Exchange Commission under the Trump administration will not be pursuing an enforcement action against the cryptocurrency exchange. But here's the interesting thing, guys. Cameron Wilkenvoss, who is the co-founder of Gemini, he did actually put out a really strong message via X, and looks like he wants to be compensated for all the drama that has been taking place for almost 699 days. So it's going to be really interesting to see if the SEC does actually pay them some money. But look, guys, this particular withdrawal by US Securities and Exchange Commission does mark another milestone to the end of the Commission's war on cryptocurrencies. And thanks to President Donald Trump, guys, things are definitely looking promising for the world of cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. Now, there's another interesting news, and this is connected to Richard Hart. Now, look, guys, a lot of Bitcoin maximalists absolutely hate Richard Hart. Me personally, guys, I do think he might be the best speaker in the cryptocurrency space. And so far as debates is concerned, he might be the #1 debater of all time. Now, we did launch a shady project called as Hex, guys, and a lot of cryptocurrency exchanges do not even have this token. And what had happened, guys, the SEC under the Biden administration did actually have a lawsuit against Richard Hart, but there's a really interesting update, guys. And looks like the federal judges dismissed the SEC's case against Richard Hart. Now, the reason why this news is interesting is because Richard Hart did actually raise over $1 billion across 3 different unregistered security offerings, and this is what the SEC has alleged against him. And they did actually file a lawsuit against Richard Hart, but a federal judge has thrown out the SEC's lawsuit against Richard Hart. And Richard Hart, guys, he was one of the Bitcoin maximalists, then he became an Ethereum maximalist, and right now he's the creator of X, PulseChain and PulseX as well. Now, regarding this news, guys, the federal judges determined that the agency has no authority over the case since the project wasn't aimed specifically at US investors, and the judge ruled that SEC failed to prove Hart's online statement was specifically targeted at US investors, which is a requirement under US security laws, and the participation of US person would not establish jurisdiction. So really interesting development, isn't it? Now, I know a lot of my friends, guys, who are actively involved with X, and when SEC did have a lawsuit against Richard Hart, a lot of my friends were definitely not happy about it, but really interesting development now under the Trump administration. So these were the newscasts on the cryptocurrency, blockchain, and artificial intelligence world. Now let's look at 2 news from Dubai, UAE, and the Middle East. And the first newscast is regarding a really interesting partnership, and this is a partnership between Happy and Equinow, and they are the first regulated crypto payment gateway for businesses. So let me go ahead and give out more information regarding this, because of this partnership, guys, businesses can accept cryptocurrency payments alongside traditional fiat transactions, and this particular move benefits industries like real estate, manufacturing, and retail as digital asset adoption grows. And Equinow Middle East Region Establishment, guys, is regulated by VARA, that is Dubai's Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority, and so far as Happy is concerned, it is regulated by FSRA, that is Financial Services Regulatory Authority in Abu Dhabi Global Market, or ADGM. And this particular partnership, guys, allows global businesses to use regulated crypto payments in the UAE. Now, when you talk about UAE's cryptocurrency transactions, guys, they grew over 42% year over year, reinforcing its fintech leadership. And so far stablecoins is concerned, guys, right now they are playing a very key role, isn't it, as they are offering secure, fast digital payments with fiat stability. Now, the CEO of Happy, that is Kevin Kelty, guys, did actually state that the partnership expands cross-border payments and fosters fintech innovation. And the CEO of Equinow, that is Phil Sham, did actually state that crypto is now a practical tool for high-value transactions, not just regular investment. And when you talk about the real sector industry, guys, it is a key beneficiary, allowing fast property settlements with cryptocurrency industry. And real estate profits, guys, did actually hit $16.3 billion in 2024, showing the sector's ridiculous growth. Now, regarding this partnership, guys, SMEs will benefit from low transaction cost, improved cash flows, and global market access as well. And the crypto payment gateway, guys, reduces settlement delays and minimizes currency conversion fees as well. And regarding Aqua now, guys, it does process billions in monthly crypto transactions and power banks, neobanks and brokers. And Aqua now was listed on the large technology Fast 500 for 2 consecutive years, growing at 3,022% in 4 years. And so far as Hubpay is concerned, they offer foreign exchange services, cross-border payments, payroll solutions and risk management tools. So really interesting partnership, isn't it? But look, as it is really important to note, virtual assets carry risks, including price volatility and lack of financial protection. But nonetheless, guys, definitely positive news. Now, the next news, guys, I'm going to be talking about is also really positive and interesting news, and this is connected to Bybit. Now, the reason why this is interesting, guys, is because you know about the largest cryptocurrency hack that did actually take place in Bybit, which was for $1.4 billion, and that did actually take place little over a week ago, isn't it? But despite that, guys, Bybit has received in principle approval to establish virtual asset platform in the United Arab Emirates. So let me go ahead and give out more information regarding this. Now here's the interesting thing to note, guys. This particular approval was granted on 18th of February, which is a bit interesting because the attack did actually take place on the 21st of February, just 3 days before actually getting the license approved. But look, guys, nonetheless, it is positive news, and Bybit now is in the final step of securing its fully operational license in the UAE. Now, this particular milestone, guys, despite the hack, reinforces Bybit's commitment to compliance, security, and scalability in crypto trading. And regarding the in-principle approval, guys, it does allow Bybit to move closer to offering digital asset services to retail and institutional clients in the UAE. But look, guys, with such a massive hack, I really am not sure if institutional clients would be keen to adopt them. But nonetheless, guys, it's really important to note that Bybit holds regulatory approvals in Middle East, and this particular license, guys, does actually strengthen its regional presence, isn't it? And the CEO of Bybit, that is Benzu, who's really active since the last week, guys, did actually express gratitude for the in-principle approval, and Bybit is now aiming to provide secure and transparent crypto trading solutions in the UAE. Now look, guys, so far as United Arab Emirates is concerned, it is emerging as a global hub for cryptocurrency and blockchain innovation, isn't it? And one of the reasons is because of the regulatory framework and progressive regulatory framework in the UAE, guys. This aligns with Bybit's vision of bridging traditional finance with digital assets, and Bybit, guys, adheres to global compliance standards, including money laundering and counterterrorism financial protocols. And Bybit also ensures a safe and trusted trading environment for users. Now, regarding Bybit, guys, you should know by now that it is the world's second largest cryptocurrency trading platform by trading volume. And there was an unfortunate hack that did actually take place last week, isn't it? That did actually take the entire cryptocurrency world, as well as the financial world, by storm. But look, guys, it is important to note that they did actually receive the license 3 days before the hack. And getting this in-principle approval marks a major step in its mission to integrate crypto with mainstream finance. So definitely interesting news. So these were the newscasts on the Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, blockchain, and artificial intelligence world from Dubai, UAE, and the Middle East. And in case if you do like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Now for the next few minutes is going to be an Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, Metaverse. So let's get started with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB, listening to the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, Metaverse. I have a question by Tony who asks, do you think Trump's US crypto reserve leads to mass institutional adoption? This, to be honest, is such a really interesting question, Tony. And the answer to that is yes. I do feel that Trump's US crypto reserve could actually significantly accelerate institutional adoption. And more importantly, Tony, don't forget, on the 7th of this month, there's also Crypto Summit, and moves such as this by President Donald Trump does add a lot of legitimacy and confidence, isn't it? And here's the interesting thing to know, Tony. If the US government holds Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, or Ripple, and even Solana and ADA in its reserve, it would actually send a really strong signal to institutional investors that crypto now is a legitimate asset class. And I've always said this, whatever United States of America does, a lot of other countries literally copy-paste the same thing. So this news is definitely a massive news, and this particular move by President Donald Trump will actually encourage hedge funds, pension funds and sovereign wealth funds to increase their allocation as well. And with the Trump administration now in charge, if you look at what is going on in the SEC space, moves such as this will definitely increase regulatory clarity, isn't it? And look, Tony, I very strongly feel a state-backed reserve would likely push regulators to establish clearer frameworks, reducing uncertainty for institutional players who have been hesitant due to unclear or inconsistent regulations. And when you talk about liquidity and market stability, Tony, I very strongly feel a government reserve would actually boost market confidence, attract more liquidity and potentially reduce volatility as well, which are major concern for institutional investors, isn't it? So look, overall speaking, Trump's US crypto reserve will definitely lead to mass institutional adoption, but one of the things I particularly am not liking is over-reliance on one particular individual or personality. Now, me personally, Tony, I'm a massive fan of President Donald Trump, but when you talk about Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and open blockchain, there should be no reliance on an individual person, isn't it? And who should see after the Trump administration era, in case we do have the left-leaning regime of Democrats, the new administration could reserve the policy, creating uncertainty once again. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens in the next 4 years, but definitely interesting question. And that's about all, guys, from the Ask Me Anything series on Blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Remember, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. we have Blockchain DXB podcast, where we cover top news and information pertaining to the price of Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. We also look at 2 news from Dubai, UAE, and the Middle East. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.